Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. This is Shiju from E&S Creative Works. Today I'm going to be creating a hat patch and pressing it on to a hat similar like this. It's going to be a rawhide patch and it's going to be engraved and cut onto a similar snapback hat like this. Check out the process and I hope you guys enjoy. And again, welcome to our channel. Alright guys, I got my mini setup right here with the XRF up and running. I got my Lightburn up ready for this project. This is just a temporary setup. I have to clean this up and I'm gonna be posting a full tour video on my workshop. So today we are going to be engraving a leatherette rawhide patch and placing it on a hat. This is for a patch for a company that reached out to me and they wanted one hat. Unfortunately, I haven't got to that scale where I'm doing bulk orders, but so if you're doing 1 or 2 orders, you know, you could always engrave part of the patch and then always save it. So far, I have done for 2 companies, one company right here and another company right here. So each time I engrave a patch, I also engrave one extra if it was bad or not, and then I like to stick it on. So I like to put stickers and whatever. That's not something that you have to do, but I just like to decorate my machine. So if you have the OneLaser XRF, you have the option to change your lens to the top position or the bottom position. My XRF, I have changed it to the bottom position. So the power and the speed, all the settings will be different versus what you use for the top position. So whatever material that you are running your laser on, just make sure you run some kind of material test. So for leatherette, this same patch, I had an extra junk patch here, where I ran my material test. Do not follow my material test because this is kind of horrible. But anyways, I stopped my machine right when it started burning up over here. So, and my recent projects, I really like the numbers and the engraving that were above it, and that's what I've been following. So whatever you follow, just make sure you run a material test. You could check out the Facebook community and also see how people are running their projects and how they're engraving on their leatherette. So right now I am following around 424 speed with 52 power or even less. That's the way I like it if you see it through my material test. Here are the differences I could show you. This was run in a different power. If you see clearly, it's fading away. It wasn't engraved properly, and some were not engraved properly either. This is before I ran the material test, and I was running with the same power that I tried when my lens was on the top. And this is my second patch that I tried, and this is with the new settings that I tried after my material test. All right guys, we are here in Lightburn. Please disregard the background noise. It's coming from the laser. I'm sitting right next to it. I'm hoping that you guys could hear me clearly. So going to the project, this is the name of the company that I'm going to create this patch for, and I have my patch size by 3x2. You don't want it too big. It's your personal preference, but I like to keep it 3x2. That's like the sweet spot right there. And you could maybe do 3x2.5, maybe, just to make it a little bit more bigger. But you don't want it too big so that it will start peeling off from the sides on the hat. So here we are, I have my wording and the line. This is the fill and this is the cut line. So I'm going to select both and make sure everything is centered. I'm going to go to horizontal center, and this is the vertical center if you guys ever need to do vertical. But right now I did horizontal center and everything else is centered. So for here on the fill settings, I have the numbers that I came across from my material test. Just make sure you run your material test to find the best numbers. So for me, I have 424 and 52, and with the line interval of 500. So this is the line settings that I'm going to go with to cut this patch in this shape. You may have better numbers, and if you do, please let me know. Whatever numbers I have been working with, it sometimes is cutting too deep and the power might be too high where the patch is being burned all around, or there's residue that's fallen off and it's coming up on the patch itself. So I'm satisfied with this number right now, and let me know if you have better settings that will not ruin the patch, but it'll also do a clean cut on the XRF. So every time I do this, I always use user origin. I'm gonna start off here, or you could do anywhere, any location you like. So I use user origin and then set my origin in the XRF, and you could frame it and it'll show you where exactly on the patch it'll be displayed or engraved. If you also have the capability to change the air levels, for fill I would advise to put it at the lowest, or from light burn you could turn it off right here. And even for the cut, for the line settings, just have it turned on. This will give you a cleaner cut and a cleaner engraving for your design. So what I like to do first is send the fill layer into the machine and make sure the fill is completed, and then I complete the line by sending that again to the machine. What I mean is, for the line I have this turned off, and for fill I have output as on. So after the engraving is done on the patch, I am able to clean the patch, and you got to make sure the placement is not moved on the machine so that you're able to start the line again using the same placement. So for the line, I have that turned off, and after I clean the patch, then I turn this back on and turn off the fill and only send the line to the machine so that it could be cut in this shape. Alright, so I go back to my machine, I hit the center button, and that'll be as the user origin. Just make sure you hit the focus so it focuses on the material, which is the leather patch, and also have some kind of placement so it's locked on. For me, I have 3 magnets on, and I'm going to engrave at least this much area. So once you have that center frame, just make sure you hit the frame button over here, and it's going to start off from this green dot. So you go back to your machine and you hit the frame button on the light burn, and you will see how much it's being engraved and where the cut will be. So once again, I'm only sending in the fill, and I have it sent to the machine, and I'm gonna hit start from here. I'm gonna keep this open. It's just for content purposes. I do not advise you to run the machine all the time having it open. I'm just doing it for content purposes. And if you want to leave it open, you could always cover the magnets with another magnet so the machine detects that it is actually closed. Alright, so here we are with the final results. I like it, how the engraving came out. It's dark and you could see it clearly well. Let me know what you guys think. So right now, the red dot is where the origin is. I want to make sure that the origin do not change so that you could come back and do the line around it. So just make sure the mat is not moved and it's in the same placement as before. So right now, I'm going to use some kind of sponge and spray some LA on the sponge or on the mat too. I've tried both, and just clean around it. So I just used an old scrub that I have, or a scrub that I usually use for engraving, and I just clean around it. That's a lot of cleaning that I did over there. But after that, just take a microfiber towel and just wipe it off. So this way it will come out really clean. Just make sure your placement is not moved from this bed. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send line layer from the light burn into the machine. So I'm going to turn output off for fill and output on for line. I'm going to send this as line to my machine and make sure the origin is remaining the same, and then I'm going to hit start from the machine. I usually just do one more cleaning just to be on the safe side, remove all the dirt from the sides. You don't really have to do this, but I just end up doing it just to be on the safe side and make sure that it comes out clean. So this is what I was referring to. My power was too high that I actually got a burn mark over here on the patch. Luckily, I was doing a test run for this, and this is not going to be my final product. And I'll be using this to stick onto my machine because I'm always doubling the patches that I do. So now I have ran this the second time, and I have lowered the power to 60 for the cut. Let me send the line to the machine and run it from the machine. All right, this is not bad. I like the outcome of this. I just have to make sure that clean the front so that I could pass this on to the hat. All right, so here we are. I got my hat press ready and warmed up. This is a double platen press, and I'm running in 280 on the bottom and 370 up top, and I'm gonna press this for 45 seconds. This is the snapback hat that I had that the client was interested in. It's a Yupong hat and it's a curved bill, and I'll be using this and getting the patch pressed onto this hat. So this being a 3-inch width patch, I'm gonna make sure it is in the middle around here. When I measured it, it was around 1.5, which comes around the S. So I gotta make sure that it lines up right in the middle like this on the hat. All right, here is the final product. I'm gonna get this ready and get this packaged up and ready for shipment. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys like the process that I was going through, or if you guys have better process, let me know in the comments below. So as you could see, the extra one that I did, I patched on. I used the heat gun and I pressed on to the machine. I like to decorate my machine with stickers and now with patches. This is going to be a reminder for me how I started and which company I started from. So hoping in the future I could line up more patches and show how many companies I did for or how many patches I have done. All right, guys, that's it for today. I hope you guys liked my video and enjoyed it, the learning process that I go through. And if you have a better process, please do let me know. Let me know in the comments, and let me know what you go through, what kind of settings you go through, and what's a cleaner, better process than what I went through. But if this did teach you any knowledge on how to run this and how to create some hat patches, I hope you guys enjoy it, and good luck to you guys. Thank you all for joining. Like and subscribe for more. Hope you guys enjoy. Peace.